Many of us know that the disaster of Pan Am Flight 103 cannot be erased from the memories and hearts of all, like 9/11 13 years later. An explosive placed in an unaccompanied interline luggage originating from Malta made its way to the flight's transatlantic leg, flown by N739PA, a 747-100 plane named by Pan Am as Clipper made the seas, while at Heathrow Airport after a stop in Frankfurt. This is also the worst terrorist atrocity on British soil. However, despite the incident, did you know that a number of people missed the flight or changed to another airline at the last moment?
Hello and welcome to Trivia Time, stories and fun facts with Multi-James95. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell to get more updates on videos and contents like this, and don't forget to leave this video a like. Now what are we waiting for? Let's go and see the subject of today's video.
Although no one aboard Pan Am 103 survived the carnage, as did 11 people on the ground, a number of people were lucky enough to miss this flight and survive it. Number 1. Kim Wickham. Syracuse University student studying in the institution's London campus in 1988, along with a number of other Syracusers, Kim Wickham was looking forward to heading home to the United States to spend Christmas with her family, who insisted that she be with them for the season instead of going to Germany to visit her friends. Much to their anger, she changed her flight at the last moment in Pan Am's Heathrow ticket office and went to Germany instead. This decision saved her life but traumatized her for so long after checking out television news that night to see the Pan Am plane that she was supposed to be on fly up in flames. 35 of her co-Syracuse mates were on board this flight, one of them being her close friend, music and theater major Nicole Elise Bullinger, whose body was never recovered. To confirm the news, Kim posed as Nicole's sister Renee and phoned Pan Am for an inquiry of the crash. This is where she receives confirmation that Nicole and another of her friends, Kenneth Bissett, were on board. She also witnessed footage of Nicole's mother wailing at JFK Airport after receiving news of the plane's fate. This was the exact same video that Lockerbie resident Josephine Donaldson saw that very night. Number 2. Jaswant Basuta. He has a reputation for missing flights, and this is an inside joke from within his family. The Africa-born Indian Sikh came to Europe from America to attend his sister's wedding in Belfast, Northern Ireland. When the merrymaking celebrations were over, it was time to go home. He is booked on Pan Am 103 on December 21, 1988. He arrives at the Terminal 3 or the Oceanic Terminal of Heathrow Airport in plenty of time, anxious to go home to Tarrytown, New York, as he is due to start a new high-paying job as a car mechanic. Basuta checks in 2 suitcases filled with Christmas presents for his American kin. With the check-in process done and his passport and ticket returned with a boarding pass, Basuta catches up with his relatives and his brother-in-law, all to see him off, the latter inviting him for a drink at the upstairs pub of Terminal 3. As Sikhs, the consumption of alcohol was discouraged, but the late afternoon of the incident day was an exemption due to Jaswant's new job in New York, and a merry send-off was in order. As Jaswant downs his third pint of a Cardiff special brew, the passengers begin boarding. The brother-in-law reminds him that it is time to go, and a tipsy or drunk Basuta realizes the hour. He bids farewell to his relatives and sprinted through the terminal to gate 14, but the doors had closed and the plane was already taxiing to the runway. Pan Am ground crew refused to call the plane back despite his pleas. He tried to rebook to another Pan Am flight and was told by an agent to wait as he or she pulls up any information. After 2 hours of sobering up in the waiting lounge, 2 London police officers approached him, asked his name, and gave information on the fate of the flight, which had just crashed with no sign of survivors. This surprised Basuta, and the authorities naturally looked upon him with suspicion, deciding to take him to their office for questioning. He was asked by a chief why he had missed the doomed flight and his purpose of visiting the UK, what was his luggage, and others. Basuta gave accurate information on his itinerary but did not know about the bombing, adding on reasons of missing the flight by accident. The authorities believed his story and later released him. With Pan Am flights full, he left the UK on a British Airways flight. Number 3. Four Tops. This famed Motown group finished their European tour and were heading back to America on the Doom flight when they were invited for a performance on the BBC musical variety show Top of the Pops UK. However, upon arrival at Elstree Studios, they were informed that there was a last-minute change in recording, and although the quartet wanted to do 2 songs in one performance setting, the Top of the Pops producers wouldn't allow them to do such thing, which meant one recording, one performance on 2 separate occasions. According to the sole surviving original member, Duke Fakir, one producer of the show stated that one of these 2 performances was not going out until New Year's Eve, and he didn't want any of them to play the songs at the same time. However, they didn't know that the BBC booked them on a later flight to compensate. They did as they were told. To follow the plan, they canceled their Panam 103 tickets, ending up singing their newest hit, Loco in Acapulco, on the first shooting and reach out I'll Be There on the second. Tired from the show, they stayed in London and slept off at a renowned hotel, where they watched the news of the disaster. Although shaken, they managed to regain composure and return to the United States, taking a later British Airways flight booked for them. Number 4. John Lydon. Known professionally as Johnny Rotten during his time as composer frontman for UK punk band the Sex Pistols and later with Public Image Limited, the British, Irish, and later naturalized American rock star held 2 first-class tickets on this flight, one for himself and the other for his wife Nora. However, Nora took too long to pack their luggage and the couple had an argument that, combined with the bad Christmas traffic to Heathrow, caused them to rebook to another flight that departed the next day. According to Lydon in a later interview, he stated that Nora and I should have been dead. We only missed the flight because she hadn't packed in time. The minute we realized what was happening, we just looked at each other and we almost collapsed. Number 5. Kim Cattrall. The British-Canadian and later naturalized US citizen actress known for Sex and the City had an ever-growing film career. She had just finished filming The Return of the Musketeers in London and was ready to return to America, with her flight booked as Panam 103. However, she realized that she failed to go to Harrods and buy a teapot for her mother. Realizing that another Panam flight was departing 45 minutes or an hour and a half away later, she changed her reservation to that new flight and managed to do her last-minute Christmas shopping in London. Number 6. Matthew Trento. This is another Syracuse University student studying at SU's London campus that year. He had originally planned to leave for the US a few hours later that day on Panam Flight 103. But his mother, concerned about a potentially long layover in JFK, decided to switch him to an earlier flight, Panam Flight 101, to make sure he had an easy connection to a Piedmont plane that would be taking him to Syracuse the same day. He didn't think much of it and walked towards Pan Am's London offices to pick up the new ticket. Upon arrival at JFK's Worldport, he heard some crying and wailing from some parents of Syracuse students on board Flight 103. Also seeing an arrivals monitor with the said flight status as Sea Agent. To this day, he still has the Panam 103 ticket in his possession as a mark of his survival. A number of Syracuse students also missed this flight by taking earlier Panam flights days before. Due to exams running late, some had even switched to later Panam flights or, for some convenience, other airlines such as British Airways. On one British Airways flight that departed 3 planes away from Panam 103 that very fateful day, passenger recalls sitting next to 2 of these Syracuse students, and upon arrival at JFK also noticed some families wailing as they left upon hearing the news that their loved ones would never return. All these people still had never let go of the incident and continued to suffer survivors' guilt. What lessons did we learn from Panam 103, and how did it change our lives and the way we travel? You be the judge. Hello there, it's MultiJames95. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it and learned something today. And please subscribe to my channel to get more updates on content like this. If you want to support me or help me earn more, please donate to my PayPal, GCash, or even my Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. The links are there in the description. And please do watch our next video. I hope you will like it. Thank you once again and see you next time. Bye!